up, everyone? It's Matty NASCAR with the Chase for Checkers show, here to give you my post-race takes on this sad Coke 600. It's the first time I've done a video in a while, at least like a kind of a normal video. I did drop one on Thursday, but obviously we had that sad news of Kyle Busch's passing. So I didn't do like my regular video, didn't do any of the shorts, and then I didn't do any post-race takes the following week or the week prior because I was out, so I didn't get to watch a whole lot of the race, take notes, really, or anything like that. So it feels like it's been a while, but anyways, do want to talk about the 600 and what we saw. I know we didn't see all 600 miles, but what we saw was pretty good. So let's just jump into it. I, again, just kind of want to start with how good it was to be with Amazon Prime. I don't want to be one of those who says, thank God we're with Prime because Fox would have handled the whole situation terribly. Mike Joy, especially, is a professional. He's a gem. And I don't know, I think he would have, I watched some clips of him talking about Kyle Busch, but I think he would have handled it very well. Now, I will go and say, though, Amazon Prime did an amazing job. I'm not really surprised, and what a bummer for them. That's how they have to start. I'm sure everybody obviously wanted to start with a lot of, fun and excitement, and to have to start with something like that is obviously stinks, but they handled it very well. All the stuff that they did, the little video package that Dale Jr. Kind of narrated about Kyle Busch, Corey LaJoie's prayer on the pre-race show, that was really cool. Awesome to see that. Corey LaJoie, good on you for kind of putting yourself out there like that. So yeah, just a lot of props to Amazon Prime for how they handled that. Obviously nobody wants to have to deal with that. Nobody wants to have to start their season off with such a tragic loss. But they handled it fantastically. And, kind of going off on that, what surprised me was seeing the Busch family out there. I couldn't have done it. Absolutely not. I know when I saw that they were out there, it surprised me, and I was watching with my wife, and I turned to her and I said, I don't know how they are doing this, because I would not have the strength to do it. So kudos to them for being able to be out there. The strength that they showed to do that, the whole family, Braxton and Samantha, and then obviously Kurt and Kurt and Kyle's parents. So it was cool to see them out there. I think O'Donnell has done a really good job as well. He's new in his position ish. I know it wasn't like a huge kind of shakeup, but everybody I think has handled this as well as they could. It still is obviously just nobody knows really how to handle it. But for how they have handled it, I think it's been done well. So I just wanted to start off with that, start there, because it was a damper, I don't want to say damper because that makes it seem, but it was just very sad, and especially getting into it, and this holiday, this is Memorial Day, so there's just a lot of remembrance and sadness just already in general kind of surrounded around it. So there's just a lot of heaviness going into the race. But talking about the race, let's get into some takes and actually kind of, wrap our hands around this race. So I've got a couple guys here that I am not kind of worried about here. So let's just rattle them off. Why don't we? Because I'm already almost 5 minutes into this. William Byron is becoming a bit of an afterthought. I did bet him for this race. That did not go over well. He kind of rallied a little bit at the end, but at this point, I mean, it's not like he's been clutch. Hendrick has not been great. And, I mean, I keep saying it, William Byron has that curse of the regular season champion where he won it last year. I don't think he was going to win a race this year. I mean, he is a front part of the season guy. He always has been. He gets multiple wins. We're getting into the summer where he usually drops off. I'm worried that, they might really just kind of fall off the radar completely. The other guy that I'm worried about a little bit is Carson Hocevar. The momentum that he had after Talladega was enormous. But it is starting to really slow down. Carson's still very, very over, I think, to use like a wrestling term. I think the crowd still loves him. Fans love him. And, he's still very cool. Don't get me wrong. But you want to see those guys continuously being up front, battling for the lead. And, this Coke 600 was obviously not what he would have wanted, what he was expecting. So, would like to see him up front a little bit more for the momentum that he had, and how much we were like, oh, he's the face of the sport, and he definitely can be. He is, and still, but we want to see those guys who have that personality, who are so over, to be up front. That's what is best for NASCAR. So, other thing I've got here. Just talking about the Coke 600 schemes again were top tier. Listen. I realized something. I think the Coke 600 is my favorite race. I love night races. It's the biggest day in motorsports. It is so much hype behind it, so much history and prestige around it. The American flag, and just like the schemes that they run are so iconic and so great. I realized it just kind of clicked for me that I was like, I think this is my favorite race. I really do. And I do have a question. You can comment down below. Do you like the camo paint schemes, or do you like the American flag, red, white, and blue paint schemes? Think of like the Christopher Bell one that he ran with the camo, or I think Alex Bowman had camo compared to like Ryan Blaney or Kyle Larson. Which one do you like the most? I'm curious because, there's some really good ones on both sides. I think would lean more towards the red, white, and blue American flag ones myself. But just curious, comment down below which one, you like best. But all of them this week, were really, really good. The Kyle Larson one I thought was really good. Chase Elliott had a good one until he smashed it into the wall. Chase Briscoe's, I always really like the Bass Pro ones, do a great job. I did like the Interstate Batteries camo one that Bell was running with that kind of neon green and the light camo. I thought that was really nice. So yeah, always loved the Coke 600 paint schemes and just doing all the patriotic stuff. So another guy though who kind of was a surprise, SVG. Who'd have thunk it, right? That he'd be up front almost the whole race in the top 5, top 10. That guy is really, really starting to get with it on these ovals. You could argue that maybe it was track position. Yeah, but a lot of people were even saying during the broadcast they thought he'd fall off, and he didn't. I think he finished like 11th, so maybe outside of the top, I think outside of the top 10. I think it was 11th, if I remember right. But honestly, he was up there. It wasn't a fluke, finish by any means. Honestly, if it was a fluke finish, it was that he was so far down. He should have probably finished a lot better. So shout out to SVG. Better watch out if he's really going to start performing at these ovals. Penske might be turning it around a little bit on these tracks. Either that, or it could be that they just, prime time, showing up for Indy 500. They got to make sure that their cup cars are, top tier as well. But this was the first time at these 1.5 mile tracks, so think of like Kansas, Las Vegas, Texas, that Penske actually outran the RFK cars. All of the other races that I just mentioned at these types of tracks, either Brad Keselowski or Chris Buescher has been top Ford. They have ran better than Blaney or Logano or Cindric or any of the other Fords, but especially Penske because they are considered one of the big teams. So, yeah, I think Blaney and Logano, I mean, obviously, Preece and Buescher were in an accident. But even before then, Blaney seemed to have a little bit more speed. He was fast in practice. Logano was up there, which was surprising, considering the year that he's had so far. So, looks like they maybe have found some speed. Maybe it was just kind of a one-off thing, or maybe it was more so that RFK just kind of wasn't with it as much as they usually were. I don't really know. It'll be interesting to see moving forward if Penske is going to start having a little bit more speed, or if it's just kind of a one-off thing. So, next thing I have here, just to start to wind down on this video. The end of Stage 3, the racing at the end of Stage 3 was maybe some of the best and most fun I have had watching a race in a while. It was great racing, back and forth. A lot of stuff that had me up out of my seat and kind of hooping and hollering. It was just really fun. It was honestly, I had a buddy who was watching the race with me, and he'll watch casually, but he's not like a fan. So it's cool to be able to kind of like share that with him, to be like, yeah, look, it's not just all circles all the time, and it's not just one driver who's lapping the field. Like, there's some really good back and forth racing, which was good. So really, really enjoyed that. And brings me to my next thing, which kind of is the downer of the, just racing product, was the weather, obviously cutting it short. Every race this weekend was cut short because of weather. I was upset about Daniel Suarez after seeing how much it meant to him, and the connections and whatnot. And I like Daniel Suarez. I think he's a good racer. I think he seems like he's a good dude. It was just the racing that we saw, the people that we saw up front. It just felt like we deserved a bit of a better winner, for lack of better words. But after seeing how well he was defending on those couple restarts, I kind of backtracked a little bit. But if I'm being honest, I still think maybe deserved a little bit of a different winner. But either way, Daniel Suarez ends up winning, and Spire now has won 2 times this year. They have as many wins as Hendrick. That's crazy. I remember seeing that stat floating around last night, so that kind of blew my mind. Who would have thought about that, huh? But overall, it was just a great day of racing. That finish of the Indy 500 was fantastic. Wish we could have got a really good finish at the Coke 600, but we did get some really good racing that I did enjoy. And my race rating video will be out tomorrow, so it'll be a day late because obviously it's Memorial Day. So that will be out tomorrow. I have a flag stand segment where I will tell you my green flag, red flag, and yellow flag. And yeah, those are my post-race takes. We'll be back on Thursday, back on into the grind of the season and kind of getting back into the flow of it. We'll be talking about Nashville. Hoping to be going to the O'Reilly Series race at Nashville. If it doesn't get rained out, there's a good chance it does, looking at the weather. But yeah, thinking about going there. If anybody's got any recommendations or things that I should look out for going to my first race at Nashville, comment below, let me know. Thinking about taking a little boys road trip, bringing some friends who are kind of new to the NASCAR thing, hopefully getting them hooked. So, anyways, I'll be back Thursday. I'll be dropping a couple of the short videos, like I said, with the post-race, or the race rating and my flag stand videos. Those will be coming out this week as well. Follow me on all the socials. Thank you for subscribing. If you do, if you don't, would love for you to like, share, subscribe, all of that fancy stuff that I should say, since I'm somebody who posts videos on the internet. But anyways, I hope you all had a good weekend. Obviously, it was sad, like I said. So, again, hope you guys spend some time with your family. Hug some loved ones. Tell some people that you love them. And then, you know what? Tell them again, because you never know. But anyways, I'm at NASCAR's Chase for the Checkers post-race tape show. And I'll see you next time.